Hello and welcome. My name is Santosha. We're going to be starting our practice in a seated position, crossing the legs, and we'll just need one block, or if you don't have a block, you can also use just like a firm pillow. Now, if sitting cross-legged doesn't feel super comfy, we can also place that block underneath the sit bones just to create a little bit more space in the hips if that feels better for you. We're going to take a little bit of time to settle into our body, into the space, so hands can float down to the knees, the lap, wherever feels really good for you. We're going to take a soft gaze to the top of your mat, just in front of you, or even closing down the eyes. We can have palms facing up or palms facing down, just noticing what feels best for you. Starting by softening the face, relaxing the muscles of the forehead, allowing the eyebrows to soften and separate, relaxing the corners of the eyes, the cheekbones, unclenching the jaw, softening through the neck, shoulders, maybe a little roll the shoulders all the way back, drawing shoulder blades together. Feeling the grounding of the sit bones onto your prop or onto the mat. And taking any movement here that feels supportive, maybe that's through the hips, spine, neck, shoulders, maybe something else. And just allowing the day or the day that's gone by to just gently fade away, the rest of the day, tomorrow, the next day, to also just gently fade away. Releasing that attachment to a timeline. And just softening into your body. Seeing if we can notice all the little subtleties of this moment. Noticing this breath. Noticing as your belly expands, your rib cage expands to the front, the back, the sides. Noticing as the neck maybe expands slightly, filling with air. Noticing as the belly softens in, the four corners of the rib cage softens in, neck softens. Noticing air moving in and out of the nose. Maybe you can tune in a little deeper to the heartbeat. Noticing any tension that you're holding in the joints. Seeing if we can ease this tension. Consciously encouraging softening. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. Two. Last one here. We can keep the eyes closed down. We're just going to take 2 big circles of the head in one direction, 2 big circles the opposite way. Taking your time with this. Maybe somewhere it feels a little bit more tense and you want to pause. Maybe sending breath, maybe a few rocks back and forth at this point. Only taking the neck as far back as feels comfortable for you. This practice is about tuning into your body. I'm going for that final circle now. Maybe you'd like to take a little bit longer here. If you've already finished, we'll just bring the chin towards the sternum, the center of the chest. With your next inhale, we're going to roll the shoulders forward and up. Exhale, back and down. 2 more like that. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Last time. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down, bringing the head to neutral. We're going to place our hands palm down onto the knees now, if you haven't already. We're going to make some circles through the hips. If this doesn't feel comfortable for you, we can also place the hands forward, or maybe you move them slightly out to the sides for a little bit more stability here. We're really trying to make this movement as big as you possibly can. If this isn't feeling comfortable on the feet, you can also quickly pause here and grab a blanket to put underneath you. Just taking a few circles, waking up through the hips. As we come forward, we have a slight little arc through the back as we go toward the back, a little round in the spine, making this just as big as feels comfortable for you. Let's go for 2 more circles here. After that final one, we're going to remove that block if you've placed it underneath the sit bones or pillow. Now, if it really doesn't feel comfortable here to not have it, more than welcome to keep it there. We're going to use the inhale to draw nice and long through the spine. With the exhale, we're just going to slowly walk forward. Pausing here, maybe forearms come to the floor. Maybe you want to use that block or cushion underneath the forearms. Maybe you even want to come all the way down with the forehead resting on the block on any of the settings. We're here for 2 more breaths. Last one. Then walking the hands in, we're going to switch the legs so they're the opposite way around. All right, doing something a little bit different this time. We're going to pop that prop off to the side. We're again going to draw nice and long through the spine with the inhale. We're going to exhale, walk forward, but we're going to come onto tented fingertips. So that palm is lifted up, the fingertips are connected with the mat. We're drawing the chest through the shoulders and then softening down through them. With your next inhale, left hand reaches off to that left side. Exhale, right hand plants. Inhale, drawing a nice long spine, trying to keep sit bones planted. Exhale, we're going to soften the chest down through the shoulders, expanding through that right side body, creating space through the right ribs. Let's stay here for 1 more breath. Then inhale, right arm reaches off to the right side. Exhale, left hand plants. Inhale, drawing a nice long spine here. Exhale, softening chest through the shoulders, opening this time through that left side. Staying for 1 more breath here. And then both hands can walk forward with the inhale. Exhale, walking the hands all the way in. We're going to come to a kneeling position now. You can use that prop underneath the sit bones if it feels more comfortable for you. So I would place it widthways so you can have both the sit bones planted on the block or cushion. Alrighty, we're going to interlace the fingers, placing the hands on the chin. With the inhale, elbows rise. Exhale, palms forward, press the hands forward, rounding the spine, tuck tailbone, separate shoulder blades, chin to chest. With your next inhale, chest comes through, arms lift, gaze follows the hands. Exhale, release the hands. We're going to interlace behind the back, palms facing in towards you. Inhale, palms together, drawing the shoulders back. Staying for the exhale. Staying for 1 more inhale. Can the chest come through a little bit more? 1 last exhale. Inhale, release. Exhale, interlace. Palms plant on the chin. Inhale, elbows rise. Exhale, hands press forward, rounding the spine. Inhale, arms rise, gaze follows, long spine. Exhale, release, interlace behind the back. Palms draw together. Inhale, shoulders roll back. Exhale, chest comes through, softening down here. Staying for one more inhale. One more exhale. Last time, inhale, release. Exhale, interlace, hands come onto the chin. Inhale, elbows rise. Exhale, hands press forward around the spine. Inhale, arms rise again, gaze follows, long spine. Exhale, release, interlace, palms draw together. Inhale, rounding shoulders back, proud through the chest, through the heart. Staying for one more breath. Beautiful. All right, we're going to release the arms. That left hand is going to come over to the left knee. Right hand is going to plant on the floor behind you. We're going to take 3 breaths here. So we're going to use our inhale to draw nice and long through the spine, stacking the crown over the sacrum. And the exhale to soften into your twist. Gaze comes to the corners of the eyes. Inhale, nice long spine, stacking the vertebrae. Exhale, twist and soften. Last inhale here. Last exhale here. Inhale, coming through center, switch hands. Exhale, twisting the opposite way now. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, twist and soften. Inhale, stacking the vertebrae. Exhale, twist. Last inhale here, intentional with that inhale. Last exhale here, intentional with the exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, coming through center. Exhale, we can release. Now we're going to come to a heart melting pose, or otherwise known as puppy pose. You have the option to use your block. So we're going to place it in front of us here. You can have it on that mid or lowest setting. And we're going to have the hips stacked over the knees. Now you have the option to just pop that one off to the side. Having the prop here is going to mean that we're going to come a little bit deeper into the triceps. So it's going to be a slightly deeper stretch. So either way, we're going to place the forearms down. If you're using a prop, we're going to place the elbows down. Palms will draw together. I'm going to bring the hands to the back of the head. And the forehead can soften down to the mat. Now if we're not using the prop, we'll have either the forehead or the chin on the mat. Seeing if we can soften a little bit more here, opening through the shoulders. That nice arc through the back, extending through the spine. 2 more breaths here. Final one. And then we can extend the forearms out, pressing the shoulders up, planting the hands down, coming to a 4-point kneel position. Now we're going to take the hands slightly forward, slightly wider, and turn the fingertips in. We're going to go through some cat-cow variations and then make this a little bit more intuitive and experiment a little bit with that spinal mobility. So first we're just going to go through 3 rounds of traditional cat-cows. We're going to inhale, arcing the back. I like to start from the sacrum, tilting sacrum, belly drops down, chest comes through, shoulder blades draw together, lifting the gaze. As we exhale, tuck tailbone first, belly button to spine or ceiling. Separate shoulder blades, chin to chest. 2 more like that. Inhale, arcing the back, coming through that cow pose. Option to ripple up the spine. Exhale, cat pose, tucking tailbone, rounding all the way up the spine. Last one like this. Inhale, arcing the back, rippling up. Exhale, rounding the spine, coming to that cat. This time as we inhale and arc the back, we're going to send the rib cage off to one side, trying to take the chest as close toward the hands as we can, as close to the mat and off to the other side. As we start to rise, we begin to round through the spine. So we'll notice a bit of movement through the hips as well. We're going to inhale, going off to one side, a rib cage goes off to the side, chest comes nice and close to the floor. Exhale, arcing the back, circling around. If this feels a little challenging, we can bring the hands a little closer. Inhale, making that circle here. We can involve the hips into this. Maybe like to close down the eyes here. We're going to take one more circle this direction, and then we're going to switch that direction. Going the opposite way. Inhale, coming all the way down, taking that circle through the lateral plane, noticing if there's any judgment that arises in the mind, and just recognizing it, allowing it to soften. Going for that final circle like this. This time, we're going to make circles through that frontal plane. So we're going to arc the back again, sending the rib cage off to one side. We're going to send the chest forward, and then as we come off to the other side, we start to round the spine, drawing the spine to the back of the room or behind you. Circling around, inhale, rib cage goes off to the sides, hips come through, chest goes forward, exhale, slight round in that spine, hips draw to the back, really drawing back through that belly button. Let's make one more circle in this direction, through this plane, and then we'll make 3 circles the opposite way, circling the other way now. Again, opportunity to close down the eyes, shutting off this primary sense to shift into the others. Noticing sensation, breath, heartbeat, final circle here. This time as we arc the back, hips are going to go toward the heels. Pausing here a moment. We're going to draw the toes together, take the knees out nice and wide. We're going to again come onto those tended fingertips. So fingertips are planted and that palm is lifted. We're taking the chest through the shoulders here. Taking an inhale, drawing that nice long spine, and an exhale for the chest to soften through, maybe forehead plants on the mat or just hovers. With your next inhale, right hand goes off to the right side. Exhale, left hand plants. Similar to how we did at the start of our practice, we're going to inhale to draw nice and long through the spine and exhale to soften down. Going a little bit deeper this time, opening through that left side body, creating space in the rib cage. Maybe that lengthening travels up through the armpit region, maybe even up through triceps, the back of the arm. Taking one more breath here. And then inhale, left hand reaches for the left side. Exhale, right hand plants. Inhale, drawing that nice long spine. Exhale, softening down here, creating space through that right side body. Last breath here. Then inhale, hands draw forward. We can plant the palms. Exhale, we rise. Coming back to that tabletop position. Again, we're going to take the hands a little bit forward and a little bit wider. One more variation of our cat-cow for our spinal mobility. All right, so we're going to inhale, arcing the back, sending the hips toward the heels. As you round the spine, we're going to shift forward through that cat pose. Chest comes just over the shoulders. As we inhale, hips dip down, chest comes through, lifting the gaze. Staying for one exhale. Inhale, arcing the back, hips to heels. Exhale, rounding spine, shifting forward through cat, chest goes over the wrists. Inhale, back bend. Now you don't have to go super deep with this. Maybe the hips rise slightly. After that final exhale here, when you're ready, inhale, arcing the back, hips to heels. Last time. Exhale, rounding forward through cat. Inhale, meeting in that back bend. Staying for the exhale. Staying for an inhale, chest comes through, lifting the gaze slightly. Exhale, gaze goes over that right shoulder. Staying for an inhale. Staying for an exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale, opposite side. Staying for the inhale. Staying for the exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes under here, pressing up to a downward facing dog. Taking a pedal out through the heels. Maybe a sway of the hips or a shake of the head. Taking 2 more breaths here. Inhale, drawing that nice long spine. Exhale, heels anchor in toward the mat. Staying for 1 more inhale here. With the exhale, left heel anchors in toward the mat. Inhale, right toe tips rise, 3-legged dog. Exhale, scorpion dog. Inhale, that knee rises just slightly. Exhale, tiger curl, right knee comes through toward the nose. We're going to step that foot between the palms. Leave that left hand there. With your next inhale, right fingertips rise, simple twist. Option to place your prop underneath the left hand. Keep that left hip rotated out. We don't want it to be dropping in. So the toes are both facing forward here. Gaze goes to those right fingertips. Staying for an inhale. Final exhale here. We're going to inhale and rotate that right foot out. Exhale, coming to a Cleopatra pose. So we're going to come to the outer edge of that back foot. Right hand tracks down toward that left foot. Opening through the abductors, that outer hip. Staying for 1 more breath here. And inhale, coming back up through our simple twist. Exhale, hands plant down on the inside of that right foot. We're going to drop the back foot down to a 45-degree angle. With your inhale, left arm comes up and over, side angle pose. Option to place the prop under that right hand or to take right elbow to right knee. And we want to try and make a straight line all the way from that right heel through to the left fingertips. Sorry, left ankle to left fingertips. We have 2 more breaths here. Final breath here. With your exhale, hands are going to soften down to the mat. We're going to drop that back knee down. We're going to extend that right leg out, coming to a hamstring stretch or half split. Drawing long through the spine with your inhale. With the exhale, we're simply hinging forward, lengthening through that posterior chain, that back line of the right leg. If we're really flexing the foot, it'll come down through the bottom of the foot as well. We have 2 more breaths here. Final breath here. With the exhale, we're going to walk the hands back, hips go toward that left ankle. We're going to pull that left foot out, taking it to the outside of the right knee. Now drawing nice and long with the inhale, maybe arms rise. Exhale, turning to that left side, left hand plants behind. Right arm is either going to wrap around the left knee or the elbow is going to come outside of the knee. If you want to come a little bit deeper, it's going to support you to really come into that twist. Taking 3 more breaths here. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, softening into your twist. 2 more here. Last one. Coming back through center, we're going to wrap this left leg a little bit further around so that the knee is pointed down toward that right foot. Now this is a little bit stronger than our typical single leg forward fold. Wrapping this leg around is going to put more tension on the muscles through this back line. So again, inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, walking forward, trying to hinge from the hips rather than folding over to just get your head as far as you can down. We really want to think about that lengthened spine so we don't put any tension on the lower back. Taking 2 more breaths here. Final breath here. And slowly walking the hands in. We're going to cross the legs over, stepping over and coming back to our downward facing dog. Just 2 breaths here. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, heels anchor down. Staying for 1 more inhale. Final exhale, right heel anchors down. With the inhale, left toe tips rise, 3-legged dog. Exhale, scorpion dog, bend that knee, stack the hips, staying for 1 more inhale. Maybe that left knee rises just slightly. Exhale, tiger curl, left knee comes through toward the nose. Plant that foot between the palms, ground that right palm, free the left hand with your inhale, simple twist. Keeping that right hip rotated out. We don't want it dropping in. Staying for a final breath here. Inhale, growing a little taller, reaching the fingertips. Exhale, can we soften into this twist? With your next inhale, rotate that left foot out. Exhale, Cleopatra pose. We're rotating onto the outer edge of that right foot. Left hand tracks down to that right foot. 1 more breath here. Inhale, simple twist. Exhale, plant that hand down, drop the back foot to a 45, coming to that extended side angle pose. Option to use your prop under the hand or to come to just side angle pose instead of the extended variation. All right, we have 2 more breaths here. Inhale, drawing nice and long. Exhale, we soften. Last inhale here. Exhale, both hands meet on the mat. We're going to drop that back knee down, coming to that half split or hamstring stretch. Inhale from the sacrum all the way to the crown. Exhale, hinging from the hips, walking forward. Staying here for 2 more breaths. With your next exhale, hands walk back, hips come back to that right heel. We're going to take that right foot out. Plant the right foot outside of that left knee, drawing nice and long with the spine. Inhale, exhale, twist. 3 breaths here. Final one. Inhale, coming through center. Exhale, wrap that right leg around, both sit bones grounded. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, fold. Two more breaths here. And then walking the hands in. We're going to extend that right leg out. Shuffle down to the bottom of our mat. Keep the knees bent. We're going to go for one final twist here in our seated position. So we're going to cross that left elbow over to the knee. Right hand plants behind. 2 breaths here. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, twist. Last inhale. Last exhale. Inhale through center, switching arms. Exhale, twist. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, twist. Last inhale here. Last exhale here. Inhale through center. All right, we're going to plant the hands behind, taking that right ankle over the left knee. From here, we're going to inhale to engage through the core. With the exhale, we're going to press the hips up toward the ceiling, nice opening through the shoulders. Inhale, hips dip down. Exhale, dropping the legs off to that left side. Inhale through center. Exhale, press. Inhale, center. With your exhale, going to the opposite side. 2 more here. Inhale, center. Exhale, press. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, press. Inhale, center. Last time on this side to rotate. Coming back, release that right leg. Left ankle crosses over. Inhale, engaging through the core. Exhale, pressing hips to the ceiling. Inhale, lower. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, press. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Twice more here with your breath. Last one. Alrighty, releasing that ankle. There's a nice opening through abductors and shoulders. We're either going to catch hold of the hamstrings or the hands are going to extend past. We're going to come all the way down onto the floor, drawing the knees in with us, taking a little rock from side to side. Then we're going to take some circles with the knees. So we're going to send the knees off to one side. As we draw the knees in, we're really going to lift up the tailbone. So you'll notice there's quite a bit of space here from my tailbone down to the mat. This allows me to come into that lower back for a nice gentle massage. So let's take 3 circles in one direction. I like to exhale as I draw the knees through. Inhale as they go a little further away. Last circle this direction. Opposite way. Last one. Beautiful. Planting the feet down about mat distance apart. Arms are going to rest by the sides. We're just going to do a bridge hold here for a few seconds. So we're going to tuck the tailbone, pressing the glutes up. And maybe you'd like to draw the shoulders in underneath and connect the hands, making sure that we have palms together so we aren't compromising that position of the wrists. Keeping the ribcage tucked down. We're here for 3, 2. Last one, untucking those shoulders if you've placed them under. We're going to extend that left leg out, draw the right knee in, little squeeze. Then that right arm can relax to the side. Left hand is going to guide that right knee across, taking the gaze toward the right fingertips. If you want to come a little bit deeper here, we're going to catch hold of the outer edge of that right foot and you can extend the leg out. So this isn't going to come deeper into the spine, but it's going to mean we have a lengthening through that back line of the right leg as well as that nice twist through the spine. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then taking a bend through that right knee, rolling onto the back, switching sides. Left knee comes in, little squeeze, extending that right leg out. Left arm relaxes down to the side. Right hand guides the left knee across. Again, option to catch hold of the outer edge of the foot, extending it out if you want a little bit more here. Two more breaths here. Final one. Coming back onto the back, imprinting the spine, knees can come in together. Now we're going to come to an inversion. If your block is or prop is far away like me, I like to use the foot to bring it in a little bit closer. So we have some options here. We're either going to come into a waterfall or legs up the wall pose or a shoulder stand. So I'll demonstrate our legs up the wall pose first. So we're going to have that block underneath the sacrum, or rather underneath the tailbone. So we want it to just tilt the tailbone under so that the feet float effortlessly over the hips. If you're finding that you have to use effort to keep the legs there, it probably just means that you need to shift your block down a little lower. It can be a bit uncomfortable, so maybe you want to place a blanket over it, or this time get like just a thick cushion. Your second option is your shoulder stand. So we're going to elevate the hips, support the lower back. Now if you're menstruating, I recommend doing the legs up the wall. And we can have a little play here. Maybe knees come down to the forehead. We can extend one leg, maybe both legs for that plow position. If this is a little much, we can take turns between each of the legs. This will take the tension off slightly. If you're in that legs up the wall pose, you can take some rotations through the ankles, maybe hands stack over the wrists. Or you can also, if you're in your shoulder stand, so we'll rotate the feet out and you can let the legs drop off to the sides. So you still get that nice hip opening. Taking any other shapes that feel really good for you here. We have 3 to 5 more breaths here. Taking that final breath, then coming down onto the back. As a counter pose, we're going to come to a supported fish, and we're going to take the legs to a butterfly position. So we're going to place that block between the shoulder blades. You can either have it on that middle setting, or you can have it on the lowest setting. And it's going to be lengthways. Now this might take a little bit of time to find the right position, but we want to have the head dropped off the back with the head touching down on the mat. Soles of the feet meet, knees drop out to the sides, arms can relax by the sides. Feel free to adjust the block onto a lower setting or a cushion. Maybe this feels too strong for the hips and you'd like to lengthen the legs out. We have just 2 more breaths here. And we're coming to our final meditation, so optional to stay as you are. Maybe you want to adjust slightly, maybe just removing that prop and keeping the legs as they are. Maybe you want to come to a more traditional variation, lengthening the legs all the way out, about mat distance apart, arms by the sides, palms facing up. Maybe it feels good to take the hands somewhere on the body that needs a little bit of nourishment. We're just going to take about 1 minute here, taking this time to really cultivate that conscious awareness, becoming ever more aware of each breath, each heartbeat, all the sensations within the body, on the skin. Connecting in. Starting to extend the exhales so that proportionally they're longer than the inhales. This shifts us into a parasympathetic nervous system. This beautiful breathing technique changes our physiology to slow down the heart rate. Allowing yourself to soften that little bit more. have just 3 more breaths here. And bringing movement to fingers and toes, maybe a rotation of the head from side to side, or a reaching of the arms up and overhead. Maybe another full breath here, pointing fingers, pointing toes. And then drawing one knee followed by the other into the chest, giving your legs a little squeeze, a little hug. You can roll over onto one side, using that underneath arm to support the head, shifting any props away. Taking another moment in stillness. And just honoring this peace that you've created within yourself. And slowly making your way up to a seated position. I'm going to be crossing the legs, closing down the eyes, placing one hand over the heart, one hand over the belly. I'm going to take 3 nice full breaths here, taking a full inhale, expanding the belly, expanding the rib cage. With the exhale, belly softens in, rib cage softens in, releasing any tension. Full inhale, expanding through the body. Full exhale to soften. One more here, full inhale, full exhale. Bringing both hands over the heart. Taking a moment in gratitude for everything that your body is capable of. And for setting aside this time just for you. From my heart to yours, Yogi. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining this practice. I hope that you feel incredible, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.